little bit more right down here. Great. Okay, so we're on our backs. You can windshield wiper the knees right and left. And then just let the legs extend. Shifting the hips, maybe even moving the flesh away from the sits bones. And we'll start here. Starting to feel the back of the skull nice and heavy. The sacrum, and the low back, hips, the heels, backs to the hands. Noticing all of the places that are touching the floor. Just spend a moment allowing your attention to kind of wander to all those places that are in contact with the floor. Feeling nice and heavy. Yes. Starting on our backs. Just double checking that your audio is off here. We're lying on our backs, nice and heavy. Had a couple more folks come in, which is great. Thanks for joining. Good morning. As we begin to shift into practice, we're allowing our attention to just start to wander to all the places that are in contact with the floor. Feel free to move the hips or look left and right. Or slide the heels towards the hips and take a twist. And then just continue to feel that sense of heaviness in the back side of the body. We'll draw our attention now to the palms of the hands. As if you were holding heavy weights, snuggled into the hands, feeling that little bit of pressure. Trying to play a little bit more with the concept of feeling anchored. Here, our body anchored down, allowing gravity to come up to meet you. And we'll take a moment just to pass through some thoughts of what anchors you emotionally. Maybe it's a person or a place or a routine. Throughout the practice, staying with that sensation of feeling anchored, tethered down to something that's important. So even though we'll be moving our body around, we'll still have that energetic association of stability, that energetic anchoring. We'll take 3 more breaths here. So you inhale, Feeling the chest rise. And as you exhale, feeling the body soften. Another nice deep breath. And starting to draw some movement into the body, wiggling through the fingers and the toes. Release the head to the right and the left. Maybe nod. And we'll slide the heels towards the hips. If you have a prop underneath your back, roll off to one side, scoot your prop out of the way, and we'll move back onto the back. So if you didn't have a prop, don't worry about it, of course. And then once you get down, the knees will be bent. You can tuck the tailbone back and forth a couple of times until you can feel a heaviness at the sacrum. And we're going to draw the right knee into the chest. Roll through the ankle. Switch directions. And then we'll interlace the fingers behind the thigh and draw big circles leading from the toe. Switch directions. And then we'll move up to the hip joint, slide the hands to the top of the right knee and draw big circles. Switch directions. And then from here, we're going to move into a twist, nice gentle twist where we assist, taking that right knee into the chest, assist the knee across the body, rolling to your left side. And for now, just sweep the right arm above the head so that you're rolled off onto the left side. We're starting with a low back twist. You could slide the hand to the low back. And take a nice couple of deep breaths, filling up. So you can almost feel the sacrum pressing into the hand as you inhale and exhale, soften. Rolling back onto your back. Pause for a moment. Just let the right side of the body settle down. And then we'll hug the left knee in. Do the same sequence, rolling through the toe first. Switch directions. Moving up to the knee. And if you're like me, one side of the body seems to feel a little bit more fluid than the other side. Switch directions. So this side always seems a little bit harder. I'm really trying to smooth out the edges between the motions, and then we'll move to the knee, big circle. Switch directions. And then start to create your twist on this side. Left arm above the head. Maybe sliding the hand to the low back if that feels like it's a little bit more grounding, and breathing into the abdomen. So that we're softening at the sacrum. Rolling back to center. We'll hug both knees into the chest. And then slide the hands to the underneath the back, palm facing down, so we're squishing the hands underneath the low back. And then we're going to raise both feet up towards the ceiling. Press down into the elbows, to the shoulder blades in the back of the head, so the upper portion of the body is nice and stable. And you can kind of pedal the feet a couple of times. And we're going to do some scissor kicks. Just let one leg come down and then lift and switch. Nice and gentle and slow, like you're drawing a line with the heel. Looking up towards the ceiling, rather than tucking the chin to look down the body. You might even feel as you're moving your legs back and forth, you can feel the joints and the muscles moving in the low back. Giving the hand a little massage. Let's just do one more each side. Then we'll hug the knees back in, slide the hands out of the way. Take the arms to their T shape and let both knees come off to the right. We're gonna start like we did before, rolling off to the right side. Bring that left arm above the head so you're curled up in a little ball. And then you're gonna reopen the arm, twisting the chest open. See if you can soften the left shoulder. And if the left shoulder is really high off of the ground, that's okay. Just keep that left arm more above the head than out to the side. Feel free to look left and right. And start to breathe into this left side waist. I'm a big fan of kind of having some pressure on the body to really build our proprioception and really build our where we're trying to move breath. So you could do what I'm doing, which is just a little massage to the rib cage. So I'm starting to inhale, breathe into the left ribs, and exhale. Soften the low back. Another breath here. Then unwind yourself, draw a half moon with that left arm over the head, curl back onto your left side. And then we'll press ourselves back to center. Second side. Left leg's over, rolling to your left. And then make that half moon, drawing a half moon above the head to twist the torso. Nod the head or look left and right. Don't want to have any pain happening on the neck. Soft shoulders. Maybe that same encouragement, breathing into the right waist. And after this last inhale and exhale, making your way back to center again. Hugging both knees into the chest. And then we're gonna inhale and take a full body stretch, reach the arms, reach the legs. So you could have this a little bit more active where you're hovering, and then exhale, pull everything in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull in. Once more. And then you can roll on this spine or back and forth until you come up to a seat. Once we're up, just notice what shin is in front as you let the shoulder blades come down the back, and we'll move again into another twist. This time we're going to twist off to the right. Nice and gentle. And instead of looking behind you, you're going to look back, forward, and then drop your head back slightly. So here we're getting a little twist in the neck, a little stretch in the whole spine. Inhale, drop the chin back to the chest. Lift through the crown of the head and exhale. See if you can find a deeper twist and let the head drop back again. So the little pumping action, inhale, breathe, lift, twist, exhale. Turn the head, drop back. Just on this one side, inhale and exhale. Once more. Then you can follow your gaze as you untwist. Switch which leg is in front. Getting yourself set up. Look back, forward. Let the head drop back. Inhale, chin to chest, raise to the crown of the head. Twist a little bit deeper. Exhale, turn the head forward and drop back. Keep going. Inhale, lift. Supporting your spine with the back hand pressing down into the floor. Once more. And then just naturally let the body and torso come back to center and crawl forward into a forward fold. It's a great chance if you have a block and you prefer to have a block in front of you or a book and you want to capture the forehead, feel free to do that. And we should have our kind of more awkward shin in front. Let the head be heavy if you don't have it in the hands. And now with the inhale, see if you can maybe tint the fingertips. So we release the head from the hands as we start to pull the chest forward, growing a little bit more forward, and exhale, get a little bit heavier. With that slight extension through the spine, see if you can tip the tailbone back down, so we're trying to anchor the hips back to the ground, and then walk the fingertips to your right. So trying to gain that length along the side waist. Maybe your back arm is a little bit further in front than the one in front. Go to your second side. Breathing to lengthen, exhaling to soften. Roll yourself back to center. We'll walk the hands back. We're going to unlace the legs and take not a very wide forward fold, wide leg forward fold, but the legs a little bit wider. Again, move the sits bones out of the way. Turn towards your right and crawl the body forward. So really trying to lengthen the QL. A lot of this practice is for twists. And so one place that can get really stuck is right in the mid spine and the thoracic spine. So just trying to get a little bit more space there. Go ahead, walk the hands to the other side. And we'll bring the hands center and slide the soles of the feet together so that we're in Baddha Konasana. Again, you can move the flesh away from the sits bones, and we'll start to enliven the spine with an inhale forward and an exhale roll back. Tipping the tailbone back and forth. Feel free to let the knees travel. And to pump energy from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. Find some fluidity between the motions. Connection of breath. Inhale forward and exhale back. And feel that rolling sensation on the sits bones. Feet are still pressed into the floor. So here our anchors are the sits bones and the outside edges of the feet. Few more. And then back to center. Just let that work settle in. We'll let the eyes stay either closed or softened. Start to imagine that your breath is traveling up the back of the spine, pooling just at the crown of the head, and then exhaling down the front side of the body, back down towards the earth. Inhaling up the back of the spine. Maybe even a little white glowing light at the crown of the head, and exhaling down the front of the body. We'll go ahead and we'll move into a little bit deeper twist, seated twist. You're gonna keep your right knee where it is, excuse me, left knee where it is, extend the right leg and then assist and slide that left heel towards the hip. We'll start here by hugging in, pressing down into the sole of the left foot and reaching up through the crown of the head. And then with that foot staying right there, we're gonna hug and twist. So rather than bringing the foot across the extended leg, and that leg could be rather loose here, we're gonna hug in, lift, twist, let the shoulders be soft. And then unlace yourself back to center, just switch sides. We'll get into a little bit deeper version of that later, but here, press down, hug the knee into the chest. We're really trying to snuggle the knee towards the sternum here. And if it seems a little bit far, you can have the hand behind the thigh or lower. Find kind of just a acceptable twist, not a very deep twist, but a little twist. And then unlace. We'll roll forward, move to your all fours. And I'm gonna bring my blanket with me for my knees. They're feeling a little bit sensitive. I'm gonna bring a blanket underneath my knees and move to all fours here. And just sway the hips right and left. We'll be doing thread the needle for the shoulders, or a twist in the upper body, with adding in a little bit of a balance. So go ahead and keep your left hand, or whichever hand is in front, if you want to be looking at the screen, go ahead and keep that hand there as you reach your opposite arm out to the side. Feet underneath and then arrive on the outside of the shoulder. Chin is tucked. Once you start to find some balance here, the hips could be back too a little bit more if that feels better for your body this morning. And you can crawl the top arm away, or you can interlace the fingers and press down. And then we're going to step your left foot back and then swing it out to the side. So as if you could capture the toes with the extended arms. Again, looking for that sensation of feeling stable and anchored. And you should have enough play in this cervical spine and the neck where you could move the head slightly. We really want to be putting most of our weight on the shoulder. Go ahead and begin to unwind yourself. Swing that leg back underneath the shoulder. You'll press down into the floor and sweep the arm out to the side, make big circles. Switch directions. And then plant the right hand. We're going to step the right foot back, shift your weight back and forth. So before we go right into the second side, push down into the left foot to raise the right leg and step the right foot forward. Moving into a little low lunge. We'll slide the hand up the right leg and then start to draw circles. I'm really finding a great creak in my floor here. Switch directions. And then start to heel toe that right foot towards the left side of the mat. Now, we're going to, just for a moment, shift forward, but rather than coming all the way into pigeon, just shift our weight forward and then slide this back knee forward so that we're in pinwheel, where we're making this zigzag shape. And then go ahead and start to rock the whole torso back and forth. And you could just continue to do this slight rocking back and forth, or you're going to rock towards the right knee and start to crawl the fingertips forward. And that might be enough. I'm going to scoot back. It looks like I'm starting to get out of the light here. And crawl forward. And then if you wanted to, you can start to twist a little bit more deeply behind you. You've got good length happening along the side waist. That kind of motion in the hips should have released, or hopefully released, any tension that was building up in the glutes. And making this your own, so if you need a little bit more movement, take some more movement. If you need a little bit more stillness and just pressing down and holding, go ahead. And then you're going to unwind yourself. Roll back through this little kind of mini pigeon deal. And maybe just draw the right knee back underneath the right hip. We'll pause for a moment. I'm just going to turn my body so that you can still see me. And then move to your second side, threading the needle. Reaching, maybe it's the left arm out as you slide underneath. Again, finding what works best for the low half of the body. If it's better to be down here and skipping the leg extension, that's just fine, of course. Maybe interlacing the fingers and pressing, and then stepping your leg out to the side. And we'll hold here. So if you're looking for where to move the breath, now is a great time to concentrate in the breath, moving towards the back side of the body, so between the shoulder blades. Maybe feeling a stretch on that outer calf muscle there if the leg is off to the side. One more breath. And starting to unwind yourself. Big circles with that left arm. And then we'll plant the left hand, push into the top of the right foot, step that, left foot, step the right foot back. Push down to lift up, send the right foot forward and through, hand to the knee, make some circles. Switch directions. And then start to move into that pinwheel or moment in pigeon if that feels good for you. If not, directly driving the left knee out to the side, turning a few times. Motions in the hip. And then go ahead and rock forward and reach forward. So I'll lose my here. Maybe this side you want to have less of a twist. But let the hips become nice and heavy. Feel the weight of the body press down. Softening through the glutes. unwind ourselves. Roll back to center. Shift your weight. And then bring the hands right underneath the shoulders. I'm going to curl the toes under, grip with the fingertips, and reach the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Press the hands into the floor, soften the knees, lift the hips. Then we're going to take our feet a little bit wider and drop down onto the knees. Planting the right hand. So this is something you could do with the legs up if you'd prefer. We're going to plant, take the right arm off to the side, feet underneath, and then go and grip the outside of your thigh and take a little twist in the upper body. So if I was doing this, and if you prefer, with the legs straight, you take the arm out to the shin and feed the head underneath the arm. That can be a lot of work on the shoulder. So if you'd prefer to be on the knees, you'll twist, trying to drag the heart underneath. Back to center. Second hand plants, reach to the side and drag the chest underneath again. Maybe you want to play with the legs straight, pulling the chest underneath the gate of the arm. Then unlace yourself, drop back down onto the knees, and then move on to the abdomen. So onto the tummy we go. And once you're down, make a little pillow for the forehead. Bend the knees, draw big circles, the feet. Switch directions. And we'll move into arm pigeon. With the arms out at a T shape, you're going to keep your right arm where it is. Slide the left hand towards the chest as you roll to the right. Stepping the left foot behind the extended right leg. You can walk the right hand up a little bit to get more stretch underneath the arm or down. Slide your way back to center and switch sides. Again, just letting the weight of the body drop down to the floor. One more breath. Back to center. And then we're going to do some work in the shoulders again, twisting and releasing the upper back. So I'm just going to turn so you can see. We'll bring the right forearm in front and cross the left over top. And then you're going to shimmy yourself forward and let the head drop down. You could shimmy yourself quite a bit forward. The arms could be separated more, but hopefully feeling a release between the shoulder blades. And then unshimmy yourself. And just bring that opposite forearm on top, opposite elbow. Work your way back forward. Let the head hang 5 breaths. And unlace the arms, separate and press back to all fours, curl the toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Wiggling through the hips. Head nice and heavy. Grip with the fingertips. And then just drop the right knee down. We're going to keep the left foot turned. Bring the heel down, press down into the right hand, and find a modified side plank. Big inhale. And you could always do this by stacking the feet. We're going to inhale, lift up through the sideways, and then exhale, you're going to take that left hand and scoop underneath, like you're reaching for something behind you. And inhale, peel up, lift up. Exhale, scoop underneath. Scoop the belly, 2. Inhale, press and lift. Keep going. Nice intentional movements. Tailbone is tucking. Finding that long spine, last one. And then go ahead and place the left hand down. We're going to slide the left knee to meet the right, push into the floor, and move up into standing on the knees. From standing on the knees, and I'll just drop down so you can see, we're going to take the arms up and find eagle arms, right arm underneath the left. So you could sit on the heels if you'd like. We're going to come up, lift the chest for a back bend, and then exhale, curl it. Inhale up. Exhale, curl it. So you could move all the way down, tapping the backs of the heels with the sits bones, or just moving that torso. 4. Last one. Unlace the arms, press the hands into the floor, and move back up to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. Then we'll drop the left knee down. Roll the inside of the right foot. Press into the top of the left foot as you peel up. Modified side plank. Big inhale, exhale, curl and scoop. Inhale, press up. Exhale, curl and scoop. 5 of these, 3 more. 1. 2. Last one. Inhale. Place both hands down. Draw the right knee to meet the left. Inhaling, we'll bring the left arm underneath the right, finding your eagle arms. Lift the chest and torso, push into the tops of the feet. Exhale, come down or just curl in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl in. Last one. Release the arms, curl the toes under, press up, downward facing dog. Head nice and heavy. Any movements or shifting for the hips For the legs that you need to do, go right ahead. And then we're going to come back down onto both knees. And step that left foot back and feed the left leg behind the right so the legs are crossed. And start to press the hips back. We're going to rock forward and back. Couple more times. And rock forward and unlace the legs. Step the right foot back. Feed the right knee behind the left. Press the hips. Couple more rocks here. And then back to our all fours. We're going to curl the toes under, lift the hips. This time you're going to take the right leg behind the left so that the whole legs are crossed. And inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, press back. Just 5 per side. Plank and back. Five. Unlace the legs, left foot slides behind the right. Rock forward and back. After this 5th one, unlace the legs, drop down onto the knees, and we'll bring the legs around out in front. Moving the flesh away, wiggle, 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 and shake. And we'll move into our full twist by bringing the right shin in. And then heel toeing the left leg around. And if that feels like it's a little bit much, you could keep that right leg out. We're going to push down into the floor. If you have a strap, you might want to bring your strap with you. I'm going to press down into the floor. Naturally, this opposite hip is going to want to come up. So I'm going to take my thumb and press into the hip crease to encourage that anchoring of the hip back down to the ground. And then hug, just like we did at the beginning or towards the top of class, we hugged the knee into the chest, and I'm going to stay here. And then slowly start to move into the torso twist. And then if I wanted to, I might take my strap. There are a couple of things I could do. I could, if you have a full belt strap here, you can take some of the work out of the legs by belting your twist. Stay nice and belted, and that's at the low back. Or what I might want to do, if I'm working on really trying to twist the upper torso as well, I'm going to feed this underneath the gate of the legs. So here it's underneath. And I'm going to hold on to one side of the strap, twist my upper body, and reach for the back side of the strap behind me. So I'll just turn a little bit so you can see. So I'm just giving myself a little extra support here as I twist. Still hugging the knee into the chest, dropping 6 bones down, and we'll stay for 5 more breaths. Inhaling, getting a little bit taller. Exhale, twist. And if it feels like it's too much for the neck to look behind you, then just skip it and look in front, or you could practice looking in front of you and letting the head drop back again, so we're finding that extension along the neck. We're playing with flushing the lymph node in the neck, or look behind you And feeling the sits bones anchor down. The breath is what lifts you up. And then unwind. We'll unlace the legs, wiggle the legs, and then slide the heels towards the hips. Hands off to the side as you just let the legs travel left and right. Move to your second side. If you want to go left leg extended, that's fine. You step over or folding in. Maybe playing with the strap on this side or skipping it. Thumb presses the hip crease down. So wherever you are, just create enough space for your body. That might mean that the legs are separating more. I had to separate a little bit more on this side to make sure that the foot could press down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. I'm going to use the strap here for a little bit extra support. Pressing down into the floor with the low half of the body. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. So using that breath pattern of lifting on the inhale, filling the body up, exhale, wringing out. One more inhale and exhale. And go ahead and unwind. Nice and slowly unlace the legs. Take the hands behind you, maybe another little hip stretch here. And then moving to a comfortable child's pose. If you have extra props around and you'd prefer to maybe bring a pillow underneath the chest, go right ahead. Or your blanket. You can fold the blanket up, put it for the forehead, or support underneath the chest as you let the head drop down. So find a child's pose that feels right for you this morning. Maybe rock on the forehead or move the hips. Really start to let your body, just like we did at the top of class when we were on our backs, feeling the back side of the body drop down. Now we're really trying to allow the heart space, the head, the throat to soften down towards the ground. So take the arms as wide as you need to. And start to listen more intently for the cadence of the breath as the breath is pressing down into the ground and then coming back to the face. Five more breaths. Start to bring your hands back. Press the floor away to lift the chest. Moving our blanket out of the way. And go ahead and find a comfortable seat. And let the eyes close once you're up. Make any motions to the neck that you need to, the shoulders. And start to draw your attention back to the sensations of being anchored. Just allowing the concepts of whatever tethers you, keeps you steady and stable. Physically feeling the low half of the body anchored down from the belly button, sits bones, feet. And the lightness of breath as you inhale and traveling the breath up the spine, pooling at the crown of the head and exhaling back down the front side of the body. Three more breaths, visualizing this fluidity through the spine. We'll draw the hands together at heart center, vigorously rub the palms. Hovering the hands over the eyes, a big inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And take the arms nice and wide, big inhale, let the head drop down. Exhale, give yourself a nice big hug, chin to chest. Thanking yourself for coming to a practice this morning. And sliding the hands together at heart center, thumbs to the sternum. Putting a little bit of that gratitude off to whatever it was, person, concept that does anchor you, that makes you feel connected. We'll end with the sound of one Om and inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale the chant. Stay safe, be kind, and know that you are loved. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.